What's up, people? Just a quick intro and then 10 minutes of footage. Arcade is back. Arcade is so back, and it came so quickly that I didn't even realize how quickly, but I don't even know where to begin. Many of us know the arcade days of yesterday in the 80s. I don't have to explain it, but we all know that there's a generation of people who've been there, who know what kind of fun you can have, the games that were there, and though those days left pretty soon after the video game crash, and the pickup of the home console, and people were playing the games at home, so that was the end of the video game arcade, in Europe at least. In Japan, it never died, which is a good thing, because they've gone on to develop many other kinds of games, which some are interesting to me, others aren't, but there's always a load of people who find new stuff fun, who find their own thing, like in rhythm games, and rhythm games have gone crazy, complicated. Anyway, the old day of arcade is gone, but it's back. You would find arcade cabinets in the weirdest places. In my case, there would be local fast food places. Chip shops in the UK. Not every country has the same thing, but we do. It's a place where you get fried food, fast food. And the thing is, you come in, you order, and you have to wait like 10 to 15, sometimes 20 minutes, depending on how many people are there. And how do you spend the time waiting? You spend the time watching the people prepare your food. And sometimes they'll put a little screen up with funny videos, or if you're lucky. Now, everyone in my country has one or more of these places, because you go there once in a while. And it used to be that there were video arcades there, like one cabinet usually. Later on, that moved to the gambling kind, the slot machines. But that attracted people who would become addicted and spend too much money. So that was, I think that's even forbidden. You can't just put a slot machine anywhere now. But there's no laws that say that you can't have an arcade machine, and pinball machines are too big and too loud. And the other day I walked into my local chip shop, and all of a sudden, in the corner, there's a video arcade. And I'm shocked. And I know the owner. I said, "What's this? This is, when did this come?" He said, "Oh, I've had it for like a half year, but his place is like split into two. One is the food place, and the back is a bar. And the arcade used to be in the bar, but nobody used it. So he said, I just moved it over, and now it's here." So I asked him, what do you put in it? He said, 50 cents. All right. So I said to him at the same time, I have one of these at home. It wasn't one of those iCades, that has 60 games in it. I have the exact same thing here. But as I said that to him, like, I have the same thing. He said, "Oh, really?" And I thought, well, he must think I'm nuts coming in here, putting money in this one, when I have the same thing at home. So now we've gone to the situation where I can play the arcade somewhere else. I have consoles here, but I also have an actual arcade at home, which I can play there. And to me, the thing with gaming at home was always about being able to play it for free. But now that 50 cents isn't so much anymore for me, I love going there, or when I am there, and putting in some money. I was there Friday, and I put in I played some Galaga, and I played some Donkey Kong Jr. And there was a girl sitting there, and I've seen other people looking at me. What's he doing? You know, what's happening there? Which is exactly the same thing that happened when they first arrived. So there's an opportunity to show the new generation how it's done, right? The sad thing is, though, that this is like the place rents the cabinet, of course, and the thing is, it doesn't have a micro switched stick, which is kind of lame, because in some games you really need a micro switch, like Donkey Kong Jr., especially in the level where you climb in the chains and push up the locks. You have to be able to go down and up, you know, when it matters. And I just died 3-4 times because the stick wouldn't register my down. But apart from that, I love going over there and putting in some money in gaming. So that is back. Now, a couple of videos ago, I talked about how Mark and I, Lactobacillus, went to Game State in my hometown, which is supposed to be Europe's greatest arcade hall at present. And it was shit. There weren't any video games. There were hardly any video games. And we came in and left 10 minutes later without spending a dime. Now, last night as well, Castardo, Lactobacillus, and I, so Erwin, Mark, and I, went to Retro Planet. Now, it's in the most unlikely location. I mean, the location is crap, right? You enter this, I think it used to be like a warehouse or something, because it was dusty, and it was just, basically it was a bad looking version of Manchester, where they have like the retro island where all the cabinets are. Well, this is that, but worse. But they had a little bar, and they had a little sitting area, and they had a little corner where they had consoles, and they had a bunch of arcade machines, like Astro Cities, a couple of them. There were shooting games, there were racing games, many multiplayer racing games. They had an 8-player Daytona set up. It wasn't working at the moment because they really needed a team to get that thing going and to keep it going. There were Star Wars cabinets. There were so many cool things. The thing that wasn't there were like the Pac-Mans and the Galagas and the Trons and the really old style arcade games. It's not that they didn't have them. They have many locations where they store cabinets. They're looking into preserving that the machines of that era, and they're maintaining them. They want to have a museum function. They're actually looking into creating a little real retro section. But it was great. You come in, you pay $15, just like the arcade club in Manchester. You pay $15 and everything is on free play. We ordered a burger, which was great. They make them themselves. It's really camp, you know. It's they have two like stoves, a little area where we can make 2 burgers at the same time. And you have to wait 20 minutes, but they make this awesome burger. They have cold beers, they have sodas, everything you want. And you just walk around. There was an air hockey table. There was everything. So I took some footage. You can see there's a dad there with a couple of kids. They're playing Mario Kart on a Nintendo 64. They have a little console section where there was an NES, there was a Mega Drive, and I tried to film it, but if you can, I don't know if you can see it, but if you look behind the TV, there's a Mega Drive there, and it has an EverDrive in it. Now, if these people know what it's about, they know what they're doing. We had a little chat with them, and I mean, they said it's a lot of work and it takes a lot of expertise to get this stuff going, to keep it going. You know, there's errors all the time, but they said the main thing is that everything works, that everything looks good, because you just, if you run into 3 machines that are faulty, you're gonna come out of the experience saying half of the machines aren't working. In this case, everything was working, and you know, there were a couple of errors, like a network error. So I walked up to the guy and said, well, this is an error, where he just reset the thing and it worked again. But they're trying to keep afloat. They're open 2 times a month. They had like a special weekend where they were open all weekend this time. So we're definitely going back. And I can only come to the conclusion that arcade is back. I can go to an arcade like I used to be able to. I can even go to the local chip shop and play video games there. What else do we need? It's back, guys, and I love it. So have a look at the footage. It's just you know, footage and a lot of noise. So if you're not into that, then just skip it and watching here. But if you enjoy watching Erwin and his hair on a skiing machine with actual wind, then stick around. See you guys.
Yeah, what can I say? It's alright. Even iemand anders aan. Even meer.
Con